Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's GeneralTarheel bringing you the SDL Season 6 draft analysis. This is another draft analysis already, as I did just do one for APA Showdown. And once again, it is Ubers related, But here we are with another season of SDL. As you know, I did upload SDL Season 4. Season 5 was very short and had to be cancelled. And we were just looking to make Season 6 much stronger. So as for Season 6, we did decide to add low-tier Ubers to the draft potential, ranging from Mega Metagross, which was hardly allowed, should have been banned in my opinion, to Mega Latios with stuff like Tapu Lele, Pheromosa, Mega Mawile, Mega Kangaskhan, some of the Deoxys variants, and like Aegislash, stuff like that in between. These Pokemon were more than 20 points. It was 20 to 25 points, I believe, as we did a point-based draft. And any Pokemon that was of that Uber tiering or 20 or above was not allowed to use Z crystals. But as for the rest of the draft, we did have 120 points total. We had to have between 8 or 12 Pokemon, no more, no less. Even though that's a pretty wide range, so a lot of people got what they wanted. Stuff like that. You know, people with a little less, they have to deal with not as many options. Even though they're probably going to invest in very like high tier Pokemon for a good point value because they're willing to pay more. And then, you know, you can have a lot less for Pokemon that aren't as strong, but they give you more options in possible games. So, and it's more for the opponent to prep for, which is good. As for me, I did originally know what I wanted, but then I remembered the Z roll. I originally wanted Magearna, and then I just thought about it, and Magearna without Z is very dumb. So I decided what Uber I wanted. I was number 3 in the draft out of 12 coaches. It was only 12, so this is going to be a very good draft. I'm just letting you know right now. And it came to me like, you're not going to be able to draft this mon ever again, because if we do a full Ubers like APA, I'm just going to want something else like more powerful. So I decided to pick up Tapu Lele as it came to me around 3. Tapu Lele, if you're familiar with it, as it's only allowed in OU format and not Draft League format, at least most Draft League formats, Tapu Lele is very strong with the base of 130 special attack and the Psychic Surge to boost it up. It just nails so hard with the Psychic Stab, and then, you know, the only immunity to Psychic is Dark, and then it just destroys you with the Moonblast. Tapu Lele is just very strong offensively. Only 95 base speed isn't the best, but easily an amazing Scarfer. Can easily be choice specs in certain situations with speed tiers. If I decided to invest in webs, then I could abuse that very easily. Has a nice base 115 special defense as well, but unfortunately, its HP and defense are not that high. Personally, I wish they put some of its attack stat into like the HP or defense, but it's okay. But getting a further look into Tapu Lele, it's mainly just there to set up the psychic terrain and just abuse it. Like, you can bring a Calm Mind variant Tapu Lele, but it's very situational, considering its defenses are very low. You have to be facing a very like special attack invested opponent in order to bring it, in my opinion. But psychic terrain, if you don't know what it does, any Pokemon that are on the field, like touching the ground, they get a boost in their psychic type moves. I don't know by the exact percent actually, because I don't know too much. Still don't know everything about Gen 7, like the exact facts. But and then it also stops priority moves, which is very important, so I can invest in very strong, frail, like speedy Pokemon if I wanted, and no like strong priority like Scizor, Bullet Punch, Bandit Entei, Extreme Speed, Dragonite, Extreme Speed, anything like that. It's just like, it's irrelevant. So I could easily run Terrain Extender to ignore all that, or I can just run, you know, Specs, Scarf Lele, or anything like that, and just be completely offensive and just do so much work. As for his move pool, of course it will get like Psychic and Psyshock, which is very good. It can hit on both defensive and special defensive sides. There's the Calm Mind I mentioned, Aromatherapy, as we get Cleric round 1, which is pretty cool. Don't know how often Lele would actually be good in bringing that for, especially for certain Pokemon teams, so we would just have to see. Does get dual screens as well, has the Focus Blast for the steals if we're capable of hitting it. Unfortunately, I can't put Z move on Lele like I mentioned, even though Fight Z would be amazing on this thing. The dual screens, Magic Coat, which is very cool actually. any like stealth rocks or taunting or anything like that, any form of shenanigans, and just bounce it right back. Moonblast, which is going to be nice and strong. Nature's Madness, which is a Tapu specialty, which would be very nice for certain situations. If I'm facing like a really annoying, say like Steel type or something like that, or any real bulky Pokemon that only gets L3 gen in, like, say, the form of leftovers, then I can easily deal with it. Psychic Psyshock, like I already mentioned. Shadow Ball, just for certain situational super effective moves. I don't know. Taunt, which is very nice for the really bulky Pokemon. I can easily be just a stall breaker and just absolutely destroy them. Between like a combo of Psychic and Psyshock, hitting things on Spadef and defensive sides if I need it, or any other form of coverage. And Thunderbolt's very helpful for like Pokemon like Skarmory and stuff like that, even though Skarmory's not eating a Psychic anyways, it's gonna take like 50. Just stuff like that. A few things like down there, but majority of the time I'm just gonna be very offensive with my dual stabs, and then have potential in a few other moves. Now, I was really surprised when I was seeing this, my next pick, actually making it to me back. Normally this is always drafted round 1. Of course, people were picking up Ubers, and that's why it probably wasn't picked up. Or people just didn't want it. I don't know what about it was. But I was going to grab this Pokemon if it made it to me. If it wasn't, I was going to get Magnezone. So there's a hint. It's already a Steel type. And the fact it made it back to me, I definitely wanted to grab it, because this is one of the very few Lele switch-ins, in my opinion. And that is Celesteela. Celesteela made it all the way back to pick 3 for round 2, which is pretty insane. Celesteela will be one of my offensive Z-move users. I didn't clarify that, so let me go ahead. For Z users for the draft, we are allowed 3 total Z points. I think that's what it's called, or whatever. Basically, status or offensive, they're both equal to 1. So if I wanted Celesteela to be both offensive and status, then it would be 2 points, and then I could only have 1 more offensive in the back. So I opted to make Celesteela offensive because the Autotomatics capabilities in Celesteela are there for sure. If you don't know, Celesteela is a very bulky and strong Ultra Beast. Gets a nice Beast Boost ability, so it can help me with my defense or special defense if I'm running a bulky Celesteela, or attack and special attack if I'm running the offensive setup. But Celesteela's stats are ridiculous. It's easily, I mean, Pheromosa is banned, sure, but this is probably one of the best UBs out of all of them. Naganadel is also ridiculous. And Naganadel wasn't made an Uber for this, it was made 19, so I get to face Naganadel with Z-moves. Anyways, I'm continuing. Just wanted to throw that out there because that was stupid. Celesteela is going to be mainly a Pokemon for me, but the setup potential is definitely there, with the Totemize and stuff like that. But as for its stats, I just go everywhere in a draft analysis. Let's stick with stats for right now. 97 HP, which is very solid considering it's a very nice 103 defense and 101 special defense. Can easily be mixed bulk, but if you really invest in one, like a physical attacker is not going to be able to do nothing to this thing and stuff like that. So 61 speed, nothing we really have to worry about too much. I mean, it does have potential of being taunted by a few bulkier Pokemon in front of it and stuff like that, but Celesteela is still a very reliable Pokemon. As for moves, of course, it does get some of its Flying Stabs and Acrobatics and Air Slash. Either of these you can run with the Autotomize set with Weakness Policy. Does get Earthquake for Pokemon that normally really threaten it, like say a Steel Trap, like a Magnezone, 4 times weakness right there, and then Heatran, who can also do damage to it. Got Earthquake for that. Energy Ball for Waters in case they're really annoying. Fire coverage on Celesteela is so strong for more of those steals, like I already mentioned. There's more grass coverage. Heavy Slam, which is mainly we'll be running just about every week, because Celesteela is thick AF, and it will be doing a lot of damage. Leech Seed, which we'll be running whenever we run a bulky Celesteela for sure. It's its form of regen. Leech Seed leftovers just gives you so much back, especially when you run it with the Protect right here. It is just so reliable. Some things just are not capable of taking down Celesteela because it gets all of it back, and the fact that even if you're going to face like a very, like, say a decent grass type, you have the Flying Stab or the Fire Stat or the Fire coverage if you wanted to go against them, so they're still not a Leech Seed switch in. Of course, I was really hoping this thing got reversed around Ultra Sun Ultra Moon move tutors. Of course, that'd be busted, but just hoping. Oh, I'm also saying it. This thing should have got Stealth Rocks or Defog. If like Blaziken, Whimsicott, and Klefki can get defog. Celesteela should have gotten defog. Rants. So, moving on, we do get rock coverage as well as rock slide and stone edge. Seed Bomb for physical grass coverage, and it got superpower. I did not know it got superpower. That's pretty cool. And that just about does it for Celesteela, but it is a very versatile Pokemon. It's probably one of the strongest in Draft League right now. A lot of people can agree with that. I mean, there's a few things that are very strong as well that can go along with it. But this thing is typically drafted early around with like Landorus and stuff like that, just because it's so bulky. It's so hard to deal with. Some people might actually get like Magnezone just to deal with it or something like that. I've said Magnezone probably more than any of my other Pokemon. It's not even in my draft. And then it can easily be run offensive just because of its bulk, and then it has the decent attack stats in 101 and 107. Yep. So Magnezone is a very cool Pokemon. I've been meaning to draft it, and the fact that it came with Lele is ridiculous. Because I have so many strong Pokemon in this roster, it's actually overwhelming. A few people have told me I have the best draft, and I can't really disagree with them, to be honest. I'm really looking forward to it, and you'll see why. But that's Celesteela, and as for the next Pokemon, basically when it came back on round 3, so just 4 picks in between. I was tempted to get Kyurem Black if it came back around, but on the way up to me before Celesteela, it was sniped, which is a good thing because I shouldn't have gotten that. If they let me get that, that would have been ridiculous. But I got a Pokemon just as good, and honestly probably better for Celesteela, and that is Garchomp. I got a nice strong round 3 Garchomp and round 2 Celesteela. That is what I'm talking about. Garchomp is just so reliable. If you know, I did use it in APA Season 7. Unfortunately, I don't think I used it to the best of its ability, and I'm hoping to fix that this time around. Majority of the time I ran just Scarf for SD. Hopefully I can use a little bit more of its options, even though offensively it is a very reliable Pokemon in SD and Scarf. Like, I'm just saying that right now. Or like, because SD Z-Move or SD Life Orb just does so much damage. And Silver proved that in APA Wi-Fi. Getting, what was it, like... He got like 26, 28 kills with Garchomp. Was ridiculous. I gotta match that. No, it's not gonna happen. Anyways, Garchomp is my other offensive Z user. I was debating in making it offensive and status, but I decided to go just with offense because it's very strong in that matter. And the only Z status I could really use is Z Sandstorm. And even though it's pretty strong, in my opinion, I would rather just run like a SD Garchomp with a offensive Z move in the back, because SD like Sandstorm is, or Z Sandstorm, whatever, is a very situational thing. I feel like it would really only take care of really frail teams, and even then it's just like at that point it's just Scarf, but I can switch up my moves. So I just didn't feel like that was important. So we do have one more Z user in the back, which we'll get to eventually. As for Garchomp, it is a very good Pokemon. I wasn't around Gen 4? Yeah, or no, Gen 5. Wasn't this thing actually Uber Gen 5 or something like that? But either way. It's got 108 HP, 130 attack, 95 defense, 80 special attack for possible mixed, 85 SPDF, and 102 speed. 102 speed is very nice because it's just above the base 100s, which is there a lot of Pokemon. And 130 attack is just so strong. It's very nice because Garchomp can easily just not be invested and still do a decent amount of damage if I wanted to run like Bulk Chomp with Rocky Helmet or something like that. The 108 HP with 95 defense does allow physical defensive Chomp to be a reliable set if they don't have ice coverage, of course. Because I can run Rocky Helmet Rough Skin, and Chomp just eats up the physical hit, and then they take a decent amount of damage. So. And then 85 SPDF is not too bad. We do live a decent amount of hidden power ices from certain Pokemon, so that's important, but other than that, I'd rather not stay in on any of that shenanigans. So, as for its moves, it does have a lot of options for Z moves, which is very good. And just an amazing move pool, period. Excuse me, that is the Hawaiian pizza talking. If you don't like pineapple on your pizza, then I'm not Satan, you are. Alright, so Garchomp does get like the Z Aqua Tail. I have ran that once. Brick Break for any annoying screens, the Draco Meteor for the possible mix, and Dragon Claw if we don't want to lock ourselves into Outrage. Dragon Tail is very helpful if I get up hazards, whether that be with Garchomp or other Pokemon, and I want to rotate them around. The very strong Stab Earthquake. Nothing's better than Stab Earthquake. It's just too good. The fire coverage for the annoying steals such as like Skarmory and stuff like that. Luckily I don't have to worry about it with Celesteela since it is on my team. We can easily run the Inferno Overdrive Garchomp, whether it be with Physical Fire Fang or mixed Fire Blast, stuff like that. I think Skarmory actually went undrafted, which is kind of insane. We do get Iron Head for the fairies as well as Poison Jab. Very reliable coverage to take care of those fairies. I can also run the Iron Tail if they're a really bulky fairy that's going to be annoying, so it's a possibility there. Outrage in case I can lock myself into it. If they don't have a very like a decent steel type and no fairy at all, easily gonna bring like Garchomp with like Choice Band or Choice Scarf Outrage and just blow things back. Like they just have to have a good revenge kill for Garchomp, otherwise it's just gonna blow through them with Outrage. We do have Roar in case we can't run the Dragon Tail like for certain fairies. Then the Rock coverage along with Stealth Rocks, which is my first Stealth Rock setter. Once again, Celesteela should have gotten that with Defog. Just saying. But my first Stealth Rock user, and it's pretty reliable. I mean, sometimes I'm gonna want to run like full offensive Garchomp, but it does give me potential Stealth Rocks for sure. And then Swords Dance for setup, which is very strong. Mixed Surf is meh, but I did run that versus Hugo in AP Season 7, which Surf. I think I had the Water EMZ too, which was pretty cool. Of course, that was a meme week. But Garchomp, you know, it's a very versatile Pokemon. I didn't go over abilities, mainly just gonna be running Rough Skin, but if I face a Sand team, which is actually my week 2 versus Kurt, might pull some shenanigans with Sandvale. I really wish it got, what was it called? Not Sand Rush, whatever. You know, the thing that boosts its attack and sand like Mega Garchomp. I wish that was one of its normal abilities. But as for Garchomp, that sums it up. Very versatile Pokemon, can be run defensively with rocks or offensive with rocks. You know, full offense, Scarf, Z-Move, SD, stuff like that. Very looking forward to using this again. Definitely a good pick to go with Celesteela. Celesteela only being weak to Fire and Electric. I have the Electric immunity here as well as a Fire Resist. And typically Fire types can't have coverage for Garchomp unless they run Hidden Power Ice. So, and as for Garchomp's weaknesses in 4 times weakness to ice and the fairy weakness, Celesteela eats up that fairy weakness, and ice isn't going to do too much to Celesteela necessarily, so it's a pretty good combo in my opinion. So as for the next pick, I wanted to go ahead and get that ice resist, as well as something that paired well with Celesteela. I was really looking at Rotom Wash, because Rotom Wash did get that nice defog buff in Ultra Sun Ultra Moon in the move tutors, so I definitely wanted to use it, as well as it went ahead and gave me a pretty solid Electro type. Another ground immunity along with Celesteela. Just stuff like that. Volt switch momentum, you know, all that good stuff. But it was sniped, unfortunately, which I think is fine because at this point I don't think I really needed something that strong with Celesteela after I have like Garchomp and Lele. So for it being like the only main snipe of this draft, I am perfectly... Actually, yeah, that was the only snipe this draft for me. Was Rotom Wash, I'm pretty sure. So I panicked. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna get. I just don't want my water, so I did what I do best, and I got my Milotic. I'm not even gonna spend that much time talking about my Milotic because it's in like half of the drafts I do on here. Because it's easily... I don't want to call it my favorite Pokemon. It's easily my favorite bulky water, and it's very solid. My favorite Pokemon is easily Mega Charizard X. It's in my logo and everything. Because Charizard was my favorite, but my Milotic is definitely top 5. It's just my favorite water type for sure. So bulky with the stats. 95 HP, 79 defense, 125 SPDF, 100 special attack as well, and 81 speed. So to give a summarization of the stats, like its HP is pretty solid. Defense is not too hot, but with its ability Marvel Skill, or if it is status, its defense is times 1.5. Flame Orb Milotic in Gen 7 is just so reliable because of the burn nerf, to where it only takes, I think it's 8%. No, it's 16th. A 16th, yeah. It used to be 8, now it's a 16th of total HP. And then I can even run competitive for offensive Milotic, which I don't run enough, which is a possibility though. So that's easily how you make Milotic very physically defensive, and then it already has that very nice SPDF bulk in 125 to go with the 95 HP. 100 special attack is nothing to like laugh at too much. because most of the like very strong walls, they can be too passive and like not break subs or anything like that. But Milotic with the combo of like Scald and Ice Beam can easily break subs, so not too worried about it. And 81 speed gets us above majority of the defensive Pokemon, so I can speed creep a little bit if I'm worried about them. So like if it's annoying Pokemon like Scarm and stuff like that want to run Taunt, it's not too bad. But Milotic being able to outspeed a lot of them is very important, so that's a good speed tier for a bulky Pokemon like Milotic. And as for its moves, you already know it gets like just the important things. Haze to get rid of any potential stats, Dragon Tail for moving around Pokemon if I wanted to, Ice Beam for the grass types, as well as the 4-time weak dragons, Magic Coat for bouncing Stealth Rocks or Sticky Webs back, you know, the good stuff. Recover, which is overall the best on Milotic. Refresh, which I would probably never run because I would always take that defensive boost. It's really like a benefit to Milotic unless I run competitive. The Scald, which is very reliable to get the burns on Pokemon, because if you get that Flame Orb defensive boost and then you get a Scald burn, they are going to do nothing to Milotic. So like it just absolutely walls it defensively at that point. And then Toxic, which is always reliable on Milotic to be a Toxic Recover set. So always good to draft Milotic. It wasn't my intention this time around, but I really just wanted to go ahead and get a bulky water. And I'm pretty sure Panther said it to me jokingly, saying just draft Milotic, but I went through with it because it still does a good amount. Unfortunately, 2 of my walls are weak to electric. That's one reason I wanted to get Rotom as well. It's only neutral to electric, but it's okay. I find a way around that later on. So, oh, sorry, getting a little thirsty. But after Milotic, for round 4, immediately for round 5, I didn't notice this Pokemon first, nor was it on my plan. I didn't really have a plan at this point. I developed a plan for my later picks only because I get sniped so often in the beginning. For example, the Rotom Wash. But this next Pokemon was definitely going to work. I've seen it a few times with terrain Pokemon, and I felt like it was definitely going to work with Psychic Terrain 1,000,000%. And that is Hawlucha, the sweeping god. Don't use it enough. It is Jock's baby for sure. I will always remember my first encounter with Hawlucha in Draft League format is missing Stone Edges with Tyranitar, and I got free setup and swept me when I totally had the game versus Jock. Never forgetty. Rest in spaghetti. But as for Hawlucha, stats, I wish I had a little bit more attack, but it's 71, or sorry, I don't know how I read 71. 78 HP, 92 attack, 75 defense, 74 special attack, 63 speed F, and 118 speed. Basically a sum up of Hawlucha if you don't know what it does. It runs Unburden, it runs Swords Dance. When it loses its item, it runs Swords Dance, a Jump Kick or Drain Punch with Acrobatics, and Fighting plus a Flying Stab just sweeps your team. Very few like really bulky Pokemon that can deal with this thing. It's like you have to have just some way to deal with it. Like a Scarfer cannot deal with Hawlucha because you can just make sure you outspeed that, because Unburden gives you the +2 speed and it's crazy. I can run a Choice Span High Jump Kick Mold Breaker one game if I wanted. Nah, Hawlucha is purely going to be set up if I ever bring it, because I love sweeping Pokemon, and the fact that this is probably one of the best like setup sweep Pokemon in this game, and I have it with Psychic Terrain, is amazing. Because if you don't know, an easy way for Hawlucha in these terrains to just get its Unburden boost is on switching. It has the seed of whatever terrain it is in. So Psychic Seed, I will use it immediately when I come in, and I get a +1 on my Spit F, which is Hawlucha's lowest defensive stat, which is very helpful. I mean, it's very reliable with electric terrain as well. But the fact is, the only thing that counters Hawlucha after it gets all of its setup is a really, really fat mon that I did not get enough chip on. Focus Sash users without Stealth Rocks up, or Priority. And the fact is, I can easily get Stealth Rocks up, and Priority is ignored in Psychic Terrain. So lately it's very important to keep around sometimes, like just to get up the terrain for Hawlucha, which could be very important. Because then I just run SD Acrobatics and I sweep through a team. I don't even need like all of the speed investment completely, so I can run an Adamant Hawlucha majority of the time to make up for its only 92 physical attack. And then I can even put some speed to make sure I live certain hits in order to get the SD I need and stuff like that. Because sometimes I have to be able to get an SD on certain things I might always not want to, but the fact is they wouldn't be able to deal with it after. Because the biggest mistake is switching on Hawlucha. Like, if you can get damage off on it, you have to do it then and there. Like, there's no other option. But Hawlucha is just great sweeping, and it's got really good, really strong move pool to go along with it, is what I meant. So we do have the Acrobatics, which is mainly what we'll be running on Hawlucha. Power Herb Sky Attack is another possible set for Hawlucha, even though I promise you majority of the time I will be running Psychic Seed. There's no reason for me not to. It is very situational for me not to run Psychic Seed. We do have the Agility, which I will never run in my life. I can run SD Baton Pass if I really wanted, since I will not be Baton Passing its speed, because as soon as I switch out after my Unburden boost, Hawlucha will no longer have it. So that is a situation where Hawlucha, where I have to make sure 1,000,000% it can just sweep at that point, because I will not be able to set up again with Hawlucha. I can run a bulk up set, which is very possible since I will be getting this def boost, a defensive boost with Unburden can possibly sweep a team without, just being fully offensive. Drain Punch, which is very nice, like I mentioned, if I don't want to run High Jump Kick, or if +2, just Drain Punch can absolutely like clean up a team along with High Jump Kick, then I can easily get my health back, just eat whatever. Encore is possible to allow me to keep my setup, like if a Pokemon goes for Earthquake, Hawlucha is faster and when it comes in on the Unburden. Encore it, get my free setup. There we go. That's actually very cool. I just thought of that on the spot. Facade, in case some reason we get status. I mean, Prankster's ignored in the Psychic terrain, which is very nice. So, not always gonna happen. Fire Punch, need to be situational, not really gonna run it, because majority of the time, Pokemon you want to run Fire Punch for, High Jump Kick or Drain Punch will just do the job anyways. There's the beautiful High Jump Kick. We could run Hone Claws if I'm very afraid of missing High Jump Kick, which is definitely a possibility. Low Kick, not always gonna happen. Power Punch is a possibility with Hawlucha. We do get Poison Jab for the annoying fairies as well as Iron Head, exactly like Garchomp, so nice. And we do get the Rock Coverage and Rock Slide and Stone Edge, which is very good for any possible like really bulky flying types. So there's a Sky Talk, like I mentioned, can absolutely blow back like the only like single check to Hawlucha, which is most likely Sour. Anything that can eat a Sky Attack from Hawlucha or come close to it after +2 is going to be slower than Hawlucha, so I don't need the Unburden boost yet. So the Power Herb Sky Attack is a very solid set, but Psychic Seed is always going to be just about what I'm running. Now looking at Superpower, Swords Dance for sure. Tailwind, Tailwind, I love that move. Just to get it up for Tapu Lele or Garchomp if Hawlucha can't sweep is a very definite possibility. And then Taunt, just like I mentioned for Encore, can allow me free setup if they're not capable of doing any physical damage to Hawlucha whatsoever. And if I could expect them to be like a Thunder Wave set or something like that. And then we do get Zen Headbutt in case I want to boost that in Psychic Terrain, which is pretty cool. And U-Turn in case I do have like a Power Herb set, I just need to get Chip off before Hawlucha can sweep, something like that. So I'm definitely looking forward to Hawlucha because I do love my setup and sweep mons for sure. I normally bring like at least 2 to a game. As I just like, I loved Thunderous Nasty Plot and APA. It was just so freaking insane. So definitely looking forward to Hawlucha. I did use it that 1 week of CBA before it died. I did take that video down on my channel, keeping the draft analysis up just because it has nice views. But fortunately I did not do what I wanted because Jock's a snake in that battle, but hopefully we can put it to better use and get a few sweeps with it. So next up for my round 6 and round 6? Yeah, round 6 and round 7 picks, I wanted to complete my Fire Water Grass core. I had 2 Pokemon on mine and I was actually going to cry if they got sniped, and luckily they did not. First off, I wanted to grab my Alolan Marowak. Dead Fred makes a return to another SDL season. If you don't know, Alolan Marowak is a very reliable Pokemon in a Gen 7. For abilities, it gets Rock Head and Lightning Rod, which is the main 2 you'd be using. Lightning Rod gives it the Electric immunity, which is very nice for my team, as I'm considering I do have 3 mons weak to Electric, and my immunity is Garchomp, which can get pretty much blown back by Ices. So I definitely needed to get an Electric immunity. And the fact I could get that Alolan Marowak is very helpful. 60 HP, 80 attack, 110 defense, 50 special attack, 80 speed F, and 45 speed. Now, the basis of Ololan Marowak here is that its attack is not too strong, but if you don't know, the Thick Club allows its attack to be doubled, which makes it a very possible physically offensive Pokemon with like Flare Blitz and Shadow Bone, which majority of the time I'm probably going to run, because there's just no switch-ins to Marowak with the club. It's crazy. It's going to force a lot of Pokemon to bring knockoff against me, so stuff like that. Very good defensively. You can easily run Spadef. Spadef Marowak was a counter to Tapu Koko for the longest time in the beginning of Sun and Moon, which is very fun. Its speed isn't too much, but I can easily run Flame Charge and get a boost from that, and then possible sweep if I'm a completely offensive Marowak. I believe I almost managed to do that. I don't think I completely managed to do that in SDL, but my Alolan Marowak did get a few kills from me before. So, as for its move pool, it can run Boomerang along with Earthquake. Boomerang is just in case they have a possible sturdy Pokemon, as well as they have a I don't know, Focus Sash using the possible back if I don't have Stealth Rocks up. Basically, that's the only case. Otherwise, I want to run Earthquake just because that 10% chance to miss. We do have Brick Break for certain scenarios, you know, like screens and stuff like that. Endeavor Marowak is a possibility because we can need a few hits, but the fact is, I'd have to be for sure on those calcs because the majority of the time Marowak is going to be slower than everything else, unfortunately. So, and the Fire Punch, which is very strong if we do not want to run just Flare Blitz and take all that recoil, but of course we do run Rocket, we're not going to take the recoil, so Flare Blitz is very strong. I just have to debate whether or not in a build, if I'm bringing Lightning Rock, whether I want to have the power in Flare Blitz or just the reliable damage in Fire Punch. And there's a Flame Charge, like I already mentioned, for possible setup in the speed. And then it does get other things like Iron Head, Knockoff, which is nice just for a few items, but you really just only need its stabs because Alolan Marowak just does so much damage. Nothing's too much of a resist. I can run a pair song set, which is interesting, even though things can just switch out on me. Unless I get them trapped somehow. I have to think about that. Shadow Bone, which is so nice, the physical 85. Ghost type move for stab. Flare Blitz, Shadow Bone destroys teams. That easy. There's my other Stealth Rock user, which is only my second on my draft so far. And it's actually my those Garchomp and Alolan Marowak my only Stealth Rock users, which is very unusual for me. But it happened, so it's fine. I was looking at a few more things to compare with Rotom Wash that got me more Stealth Rocks on my draft, but after that it's just like it kind of messed up, so it's fine. We can run Swords Dance if we're very confident in just destroying things with AWAC. Thunder Punch for the really bulky water types if I can't just hit them with very strong Shadow Bone, stuff like that. So Alolan Marowak, it can blow back teams, it does have the electric immunity, gives me another Stealth Rock user, and it's just a pretty reliable Pokemon. Like, it's like, it does damage, like, it's kind of like Darmanitan. It can blow back teams with Flare Blitz, but it's not going to be there forever. Like, because so many things can come in and easily threaten it out. Marowak's bulkier than Darmanitan, but, it's just, you know, it's just so many things to threaten out, but it can still do the damage and get up Stealth Rocks if I needed to. I'm just going to keep it at that, because I need to stay positive for these Pokemon that are on my draft. And the Grass type I wanted was my first form of, well, second form of Hazard Removal. Hawlucha gets Defog. Wink. We have a Serena returning from APA Wi-Fi. Thick Stems. I didn't use it in APA Wi-Fi too much, to be completely honest, but, it's just, I needed a Rapid Spin, and I wanted a Grass type, and I definitely didn't want to, Dhelmise after I was picking up, Alolan Marowak, and, Decidueye, same typing, and Defog. It just wasn't interesting to me. Queenly Majesty, if I was not stopping any priority with Psychic Terrain before, I am now, for sure. Sweet Veil is also possible for any, you know, like, I would say Spore and stuff like that, but it's already Grass Immune, so, I don't know. Queenly Majesty is just what I mainly will run. As for its stats, it has decent bulk and 72 HP and 98 in both defenses. Can be a reliable, possible offensive mon, and with its base 120 attack stat, which is very cool. And 72 speed isn't too bad, but it's there around some of the bulky walls that I can easily like work around. Serena is a pretty decent rapid spinner. Assault Vest rapid spin is a very common set, like Assault Vest rapid spin, U-turn, drop kick, and high jump kick, slash pay rough, whatever you need to put in. But it does its jobs pretty well. It does get another, I do get another cleric with aromatherapy. Run Endeavor if I want or whatever. Just get at the high jump kick and knock off. I can run dual screens like Serena if I wanted to with rapid spin via very support mon, which is very strong. Power whip for more damage than drop kick if I want, but drop kick is very helpful with the attack drop. So I do get the play rough in case I need to run that. Synthesis for the health regen, which is very nice. If I'm not running the assault vest set, I can easily run like leftovers and then synthesis with rapid spin and stuff like that. And of course the toxic and U-turn for momentum, so I do get another U-turn mon. I say another, my only U-turn mon is really Hallelujah. So I get a little momentum with the team, which is very nice. So next up, I knew that basically knew my draft from here on out wasn't going to get sniped based off people's drafts and stuff like that. I definitely wanted to grab a dark type because I was going to be a little weak to Ghost, considering I already have Alola Marowak and Tapu Lele weak to Ghost, and if you check the thumbnail you know what else is weak to Ghost. So I wanted to get another dark type and I wanted to get Defog for sure. And 1,000,000% a Pokemon that fit that was Skuntank. And not only does Skuntank only have those possibilities, but it is my other Z user, but is not offensive. It is a pure status Z user. And I'm just going to go over for the Z status possibilities for Skuntank is Z Haze. Eliminates all stats of the opponent and it heals me up to full. Another possibility is Z Memento, which is the main one. This lowers their attack and special attack by 2, and the next Pokemon that comes in gets its health back up, I believe. Yeah, I think that's how Z Memento works. So I could easily get free setup. So strong, so worth it. Other possibilities with Skuntank, I know it gets Snatch, so I could run Z Stash, which gives it +2 attack stat, but completely offensive Skuntank is going to be very situational. But majority of the time it will just be either like Z Haze or Z Memento is the main reason if I bring a status Skuntank. So as for its stats, it does have a very nice 103 HP, and then its defenses are unfortunately pretty low in 67 and 61. Attack stats not bad at 63, which is a majority of the time what we're going to be running with Skuntank. And 71 special attack is low, but a mixed Skuntank is possible because it does get fire coverage and fire blast and flamethrower, which is pretty cool in my opinion. And then 84 speed isn't too bad. So as for abilities, mainly looking at Aftermath because if it's KO'd by contact, it does take 1/4 of its HP, which is actually ridiculous. The Moose user, oh yeah, that's a lot. Okay, which is very nice for like very strong, like physically offensive like threats on an opponent's team. So, for example, like some of these Ubers in here, like Pheromosa, Aegislash if it wants to run the physical set, and then like Mega Metagross, of course, like anything like that, I want it to take as much damage as possible. So, and then Stench is a flinch annoying thing that might come for a meme week if I really wanted to. As for its moves, Acid Spray is very helpful for special attackers in the back, especially Lele. Like if Skuntank's gonna go down, I can go ahead and lower a Pokemon's Spadef so they're threatened out. And then I could easily pick up a KO or something like that with Lele afterwards, you know. Defog for the hazards like I already mentioned. I could run Explosion if I want to. Ooh, sounds fun. There's the fire coverage like I mentioned, Fire Blast, Flamethrower, Flower Play, which is really nice if I'm not running too heavily of a offensive Skuntank. There's the Memento, Night Slash, and Crunch is mainly what I'd probably be running with Skuntank, majority of the time Crunch. Still doesn't get knockoff with Skuntank, which is unfortunate, but it's fine. We do get Play Rough for possible hitting, you know, Dragon types and stuff like that. Poison Jab for its physical stat, which is very strong. It doesn't get Gunk Shot, which is pretty weird in my opinion, since most poison types do, but it's fine. We can be a Pursuit Trapper if we want, considering there's going to be a few Psychic types that will want to benefit from my Psychic terrain with Tapu Lele, so. Jeez, excuse me. We do have Roar for any possible Pokemon that would try to get set up on us, even though I could easily just bring Haze and stuff like that, but if I do have Hazards up, Roar is still always helpful. And then, of course, if I want to run special, I have like Sludge Bomb for such reason. And then if Psychic Terrain isn't up, or if I'm not bringing Lele, I can easily bring Sucker Punch for important priority in a match. And then, of course, a Taunt for possible like Stall Break and stuff like that. So, Skuntank is Pokemon I haven't used, but I know it can give me the defog I need. And it's not too bad of a Pokemon. Poison Dark is just amazing typing, only weak to ground. And I have 2 immunities and Celesteela and Hawlucha, mainly Celesteela. I'm not going to risk Hawlucha majority of the time on a ground type move. And I have a Resist in my Serena. So, next up is a Pokemon I was very like debateful about getting because I could get a few things cheaper than it, like possibly 2 Mons. But the fact is, it's just a powerhouse. It's very fast, which speed wasn't too high on my team right now. I did have 118 Hawlucha, which is pretty good, but you know, I want a Pokemon that will have speed besides the Unburden, since majority of the time I'm not going to be max speed Hawlucha or something like that. So, and that Pokemon is going to abuse the Psychic Terrain and is a Mega. It is Mega Alakazam. Props to Nico for the nickname. It is easily one of the best nicknames, serial killer. Does get Trace, so for any annoying possibility abilities, I can easily trace that and abuse them with it. Other than that, I do not have to Mega immediately with Alakazam. It does have to hold the Alakazite. That's just funny to say. Sounds like Gesundheit. Bless me. It does have to hold the Mega Stone, but I do not have to Mega immediately, so, you know, I could trace a certain ability if I really wanted to, just by not Megaing. Also, if Alakazam can still pick up the kill in regular form, and I have like Stealth Rocks on my side or stuff like that, I can just not Mega yet, and then I can get the kill, switch back out on whatever wants to try and like come into revenge, hopefully not a Pursuit Trapper, and then I come back in, Stealth Rock still don't hurt me because I still have Magic Guard up. So that's the possibility with Alakazam. Its stats, these stats are ridiculous. If you thought Lele was gonna get hit hard in Psychic Terrain, Alakazam's on a new level. 175 base special attack. It's already up to 386 without any investment. That is ridiculous. And then 150 speed. Forcing my opponent to almost bring a Scarfer every week, which Celesteela and Milotic can absolutely wall majority of Scarfers because they're just not getting the offensive boost they might need. So Alakazam is going to put in work. Unfortunately, he's very frail defensively, so most Pursuit Trappers can Pursuit it and knock it out, which really sucks, but it can happen. And 105 Spadef does allow it to eat a little, eat some special offensive moves, of course, unless they're super effective, but majority of the time it can't live one, so that's at least some benefit to its bulk side, even though there's hardly a side. Calm Mind is a possible set, just for me to raise my special attack, not necessarily complete setup, because once again, any physical type moves are just gonna blow me back. I'm like losing my voice here, I've been talking for too long. How long has this draft analysis been? Oh god, it's 43 minutes. Okay, so my Alakazam, yeah, not living too many physical hits, so Calm Mind's just really to boost its special attack. Also for moves I can run like Disable Encore, which is very cool for tech on Mega Alakazam. I can run a physical sub, Focus Punch, Mega Alakazam if I'm memeing. Knock off or any items, which could be just cool for utility. I do have Magic Code again, as well as Screens if I wanted to use that, you know. Psychic and the Side Shock for whatever I want to use. Recover, in case I want to be like 3 attacks Recover, which actually wouldn't be too bad, necessarily. I don't know why I would have to have Recover, because Glass Cannon basically here. Shadow Ball for more coverage, Signal Beam as well, and we do get Taunt and Thunder Wave, which is very nice, because of its speed tier, I can easily Thunder Wave something that's below me that I know I cannot knock out, and then something that might be slower than that can easily come in and knock it out, so gotta love speed control. Taunt's always helpful, of course, as I do have a decent amount of Taunt users. And then I'm not going to be able to use Trick or anything like that, but Zen Headbutt for physical Alakazam, get ready. What even is its physical attack? 50. That's so low. But Mega Alakazam's just going to blow things back in the Psychic Terrain. If Lele doesn't, it's just going to overwhelm people who don't draft Dark types. It's going to be ridiculous. Unfortunately for both Lele and Alakazam, for Steel types, they are going to have to land Focus Blast. So pray for me. That is all I am saying. Lastly, I only had 2 points left, and I saw a Pokemon that wasn't too bad for 2 points, and it does give me another Ultra Community, as well as a for sure meme, that is Pikachu. I was considering Piplup, but you know, that's an APA thing, gotta keep it over there, you know. Don't want the two gangs to be like mad at one another. Pikachu, even though its stats are low, it's got a decent speed stat at base 90, and you just give it the, not the Lychee Berry, let's give it the Light Ball. If it's held by Pikachu, its attack and special attack are doubled, because this thing is beloved by the Pokemon Company for some reason. Even though the mascot was going to be Clefairy, rest in peace Clefairy. Pikachu is very strong because it does get its full tackle if you want to run it physical, or you can give it the easy special coverage it gets. And since Pikachu is like loved, its move pool is pretty insane. It gets a lot of like helpful tech, which is pretty cool. Gets stuff like agility for some reason, break, Encore, Endeavor, Extreme Speed. Like even though I can't run priority in my own terrain, Extreme Speed plus Fake Out. That's kind of crazy. Because Pikachu's like stats, like a physical Pikachu with Light Bulb is actually like a decent amount. It's like it's up there with like Pokemon around I want to say base 100 normal stats. Yeah. Because I know Garchomp's max speed at 102 is 33. So if I were to invest, like Pikachu's about base 100, base 110, somewhere in that range, which is actually pretty crazy. But it's just so frail. So, God, my voice is so tired. And then we do have knockoff to get rid of any items if I wanted. Grass Knot for the ground types if I'm not running Power Ice. Nuzzle for some more support tech. I can run a light dual screen like Clay Pikachu. I say that about every Pokemon when I see screens. It's stupid. If I run Nasty Plot Pikachu and I sweep a team, I'll lose my mind. I'm just saying that right now. Quick Attack for more priority, which is pretty irrelevant. I don't know if Extreme Speed has to be static. It might have to be. We do get Surf Pikachu. I think that's another like event case and stuff like that. And then here's all its electric coverage and Thunderbolt, Thunder Punch, Full Tackle, all that good stuff. And I can run Wish Pikachu, which is very cool. I can get health back into my Celesteela and stuff like that. Did not think about that the first time around. So as for my overall draft, it is very strong offensively. Yes, most of my drafts normally are, because I'm just an offensive player. I drafted a team that can easily abuse the Psychic Terrain, in my opinion. A few Pokemon that do not appreciate priority moves, like Hawlucha. And then Hawlucha gets the benefit from the Psychic Seed. Mega Alakazam actually does so much damage, and it benefits from Pokemon not being able to hit it with priority moves because it is so fast. If they do not have the Scarfer anymore, they're just not capable of hitting Alakazam. They have to rely on living a hit, which won't always happen. So yeah, Lele is going to be the focus of this team for sure. That's why I kind of rotated the team around. And then Celesteela is just going to be very nice as well. And I'm looking forward to Garchomp. And I'm just looking forward to everything. Like, this team is just super strong in my opinion. Can't wait to use it. Things where it kind of helps, like, where it's meh. I do not have enough hazards. That is easily the case. My Stealth Rock users are not always ones that I want to bring. I'm going to bring Garchomp majority of the time, but Alolan Marowak, stuff like that. I'm just saying I'm not going to bring rocks on Garchomp all the time, so. And then I have no Spikes users, which is very rare for my drafts. Normally I have at least one Spike user, whether that be just Spikes or T-Spikes, so. But as for the rest of the team, hazard removals also only decent with Rapid Spin, Serena, and Defog Skuntank, but I don't always bring it anyways, so. And I did have the guys I want to mention me to quickly do a overview of their draft, so I'm actually going to go through that because I have no reason not to do it. Might as well just stretch this video out to an hour for another 10 minutes. So I know it doesn't fit completely on the screen, but I'm going to go through over this left section right here going all the way down, and then I'll go over the right section. So as for the first team, we have Purple and his Atlanta Hydreigons, which I think, yeah, actually, it's not Atlanta anymore, it's some weeb name. So, as for his draft, I will be facing him week 1, so you will see this team very shortly. Mega Metagross, the thing that should have been banned. He had first overall draft pick. There was no reason for him not to pick it up. 1,000,000% he should have. They were idiots for allowing it. They're going to get destroyed by it now, and they're going to regret it. Because we even know we knew our draft positions when we were voting on some of this stuff. Like, it was stupid. And then he has Hydreigon, which is very strong. It's actually amazing he didn't get Garchomp with Mega Metagross on the way back. That's what gave it to me, basically. Hydreigon Metagross is like, it's a pretty strong core. It's like Hydreigon Jirachi and stuff like that. And he does have Togekiss to go along with it. That's a very strong 3 Pokemon right there. Entei hits so hard to go along with Metagross. He just has, look at this. This is diagonal, like, physical attack power. Metagross, Entei, and then Machamp. And then SD Scolipede is easily a very reliable set. Like, he's going to be a pretty good threat, but his bulk does, unfortunately lack, in my opinion. He went too heavy on offense with, like, all these Pokemon. Togekiss isn't, like, a complete Bulkmon. Like, it's Stall Breaker, and it's got other options, but you don't want to run it, like, purely defensively. Like, it can be bulky, but you don't always want to run that, so... hazard removal, defog, and these two, because Hydreigon did get it this, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and then Rapid Spin, Claydol. Claydol's absolute garbage. It's a floating garbage can. Dumpster. Waste bin. Ugly. But, Gastrodon can easily pair with Miltank, which is actually pretty good, because he does get the Sap Sipper, and he does already have, strong resistances in grass, so that was very smart for him to pick it up. It probably would have been better for him to get, more Stealth Rocks on this team, but, of course, RMRE facing that problem. Electric, that's a decent electric pick, so... Definitely a very solid team for purple, not looking forward to a week 1. As we move on to silver right here, with a only 9 Pokemon, very, very offensive team. Pheromosa was his uber pick, which is very strong in my opinion. Very frail defensively is the definition of a glass cannon, but it will blow everything back. And Weavile, just like another one, like back-to-back, that's ridiculous, and he still managed to get Salamence. Like, Silver and I got 2 absurd dragons that should never go around 3, which was Salamence and Garchomp, but we got them. This offense is just going to be so hard for people to prep for. It's like offensively, like, basically the only way you're going to deal with Silver is if you have, like, very absurd offense yourself, and then you can just deal with it somehow with setup. Slowbro and Mega Aggron are very, like, good physically bulky, but, like, Spadef, it's like, it's not too good. Jolteon add another amazing speed tier, like, his speed's ridiculous. Of course, it jumps from base 100 to 125, or 120, don't remember what Weavile is. Actually, yeah, no, I think it's 120, 125. But, still, like, his, offense and control and stuff like that is kind of ridiculous. He does have U-turn momentum, U-turn Volt Switch momentum between Jolteon and Pheromosa, as well as with parting shots of Ollie, which is pretty strong. That does allow Silver to get a lot of regen, and with moments like that. Nidoqueen went round 7. I was so considering it, but the fact is I needed to fill other positions on my team. It's like, I saw this thing still around, I really wanted it, but I needed to fill these positions. Of like, you know, Alola Marowak and Serena for my Fire Grass, so I opted not to get it. And I noticed he does not have a Fire Grass, so that's probably why he opted to get Savali. Get the best of both worlds. Savali did get Defog and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, which is stupid. Very good on his part. And like his only like Spadef Pokemon, Licky. That's one thing I think about Silver's draft. It's going to be kind of blowback by a more offensive team. Like if he can get the speed, sure, Pheromosa is really fast, but like if someone gets up rocks versus him, breaking any potential sashes, and they can get up like a Dragon Dance or something like that, he's just gonna sweep through their team. Like, or if they have a like Volcarona Quiver Dance or something like that. I don't know if Volcarona was drafted, but it's just stuff like that. It can do a lot of stuff to his team, but it's so heavily offensively. I feel like people might just get overwhelmed trying to build on a team defensively that they might not think about being full offense. So next up is the Miami Heat and my boy Loris getting the stupid Naganadel and H-Slash. Naganadel round 1, Z moves, only 19 points. I was really considering getting like Mega Tyranitar or something, but I really wanted Mega Alakazam. Mega Tyranitar would have been just a pure check to Naganadel and stuff like that, and would have given me a decent Dark type, but Naganadel is going to be such a pain in the ass to deal with, and then you got Aegislash right here that he got round 2. It's like, okay. And you got Terrakion. That was something I was considering before I realized Hawlucha, but even then, Hawlucha was too late, and you already had Terrak. I will get you eventually, Terrakion, I promise. I keep saying I'm going to use Terrakion and then Zygarde, and I never get around to it. Rotom Heat, very reliable, but, and I love Gliscor. Unfortunately, it never got a stinking kill in APA Wi-Fi. It was just as bad as Claydol. Blastoise is very reliable spinner and very good water type. It's 55 minutes. I'm running out of time. And then, so he has a good defog in these two, and then he has Rapid Spin in Blastoise, which is very cool. Stealth Rocks he does get in Gliscor and Terrakion. Gliscor can be Poison Heal defog now. That makes it just so strong. Unfortunately, I had to get in APA Wi-Fi where it couldn't have been, but it's fine. In my opinion, Loris' draft is just so strong right here, and then it dies right here. I know these mons down here can be very good. Like, Moxie Scarf Pinsir is pretty strong. Dual Hazards Omastar or the Shell Smash version. Mesprit's even pretty reliable. Raticate can hit pretty hard after an SD, I'm not gonna lie. Eviolite Clefairy's decent. It just doesn't look right. Like, when you look at it like this, it just doesn't look right. So, Loris' draft isn't too bad though, mainly because these Pokemon right here are just gonna destroy, like, offensively. Next up is Kurt, who I'll be facing with Week 2, the Sand team. We have Landoi, Kyurem Black, Excadrill, Tyranitar, Sylveon, Reuniclus, Jellicent, Flygon, and Dunsparce. Flygon needs to be changed to Chestnut. They have not done that yet, because he did FA of Flygon for Chestnut. Landor's Threat. With Sheer Force, and he can even run Sand Force because he gave himself Sand. That's so smart. Because you can't prep for physical or special now. God, that's insane. Oh, Lord have mercy on us. And then he has Kyurem Black. He's like me in APA Wi-Fi Season 6, draft insane with Kyurem Black. Just the absolute power. Once you go black, you never go back, dude. And then Excadrill, Tyranitar in the sand is just so strong. And then he has Sylveon's Jellicent, which is very bulky. Reuniclus is such strong setup. Run Magic Art so it doesn't get hurt in the sand. Then he does have Chestnut, which is a grass type that doesn't need to use Synthesis all the time necessarily, because it does have Drain Punch and Leech Seed to get its health back, because of course in Sand, Synthesis won't be allowing to get all of its health back. But honestly, he has a very reliable team. In the Sand stuff, it's a little bit too offensive, but the team is still good in my opinion, easily. He's got counters to steals for Kyurem Black and Sylveon. He's got counters to water type with the water absorbed Jellicent, as well as the Chestnut now. Not water absorbed Chestnut, but you know what I mean. So a pretty reliable team. A little bit scared facing him, but we'll try our best. And then next up we do have Coach Justin in the Detroit Luxrays with his disgusting just regen team. But he needs it. So he is the Tornadus Therian form, very reliable. Always has to like risk landing Hurricanes though. Could easily bring Sunny Day just to troll Tornadus. And then he has the regen mons and Toxapex and Tangrowth. Toxapex is so fat. And then Tangrowth, you already know, favorite grass type, best regen mon in my opinion. But that's just because Toxapex is too fat for me, so Toxapex is actually the best regen. So, and then he has offensive mons and Mamoswine and Meanshao, Mega Houndoom, and even Noivern technically. And then he waited to grab his Uber, which was the disgusting Deoxys defense. Like, his team wasn't fat with Toxapex and Tangrowth already. He picks up a Deoxys defense. So he's got pretty reliable, like, complete bulk and then full offense. He doesn't have bulky offense in between. I guess you can say Mamoswine, but Mamoswine's not that bulky, honestly. So that's kind of what his team lacks, in my opinion. It's not really bulky offense, it's just bulk plus offense. So he does have very good hazards in like Toxic Spikes, Dual Spikes to Selgor, and then he has Spikes with Stealth Rocks on Deoxys defense. So he can... Wow, that's actually really annoying. He has all those hazards with regen. Okay, props for you for drafting, Justin. Back up, my dude. Okay. Next up is Nico with the team that cannot break walls. He really wanted Zora, so this is actually Mew with Munium Z, which is kind of... Get off my screen. Get off my screen. I just wanted to show it once. Get. He wanted to show off Zora, which, I mean, we're only allowing in custom, which is pretty annoying, but he drafted it round 2. Not so sure about it. But Mew plus Clefable is very reliable. So stupid. And then he has Mandibuzz and Kofag. Like, he's got a pretty fat team along with offensive Pokemon. But these offensive Pokemon do not wall break. Like, they just don't do it. Kyurem can easily wall break a little bit. I actually don't even think he went through with making it one of his Zmons. Like, I actually don't think he did. I think he decided to Starmie over Kyurem, which is pretty dumb. But Specs-Kyurem can blow back. But it's just the fact, Infernape and Zora, they give him momentum, they give him possible setup. Like, they're very strong Pokemon. It's just, they're only at base 104 and, like, 110 attack, I think. Like, it's not the strongest he could have had for his team. That's all I'm saying. Starmie is very nice. Has a removal along with Mandibuzz. Vileplume got a boost in the Strength Sap, which makes it very helpful for possible Pokemon. Nico is just very strong defensively. Like, physically offensive Pokemon are going to deal with him too well. Special defensive Pokemon could blow him back actually though. Spidef Mandibuzz might be some of his answers sometimes. But having 2 Pokemon like this that are weak to electric and then having Volt Absorb is very reliable. Kyurem last round is actually pretty insane. Forget what he drafted. Is he FAing Kyurem? I don't know. I think I don't know. They haven't updated this price roster since post-draft, so it's definitely over an hour now, isn't it? Yeah, it's an hour and 1 minute. I have good timing. Overall, it's a reliable team. He just doesn't have wall breakers. Like, it's puny. Like, it's too fat for my taste, in my opinion, so it's whatever. So we're going to go to the top now again, and I'm going to move the screen over so you guys are capable of seeing... Okay, that's too slow. Make it so you guys are seeing this other half. Yeah, that's a black screen. We'll just keep it there. Alright, there's my beautiful team, as you can see. And then this is Sean's uncompleted draft, because he was not here at all to draft. But if you remember Sean from season 4, you just know he drafts like the fattest things that are basically stall. Like, you already see this garbage, and then he got Porygon 2, Doublade, Gigalith, Stoutland, and something else. Either way, he's a terrible person because he just drafts very fat things, and it's annoying. I don't like him. No, I love Sean, I just hate his playstyle. Next up is Los Angeles Leafeon's coach Brick. Yeah, this Brick. Pretty cool team. He has Protean Gren with Tapu Koko plus Leafeon, so those are very strong special attackers to start off the game. Can even run physical Gren, of course. Wow, his team is very special attack based. I did not notice that. He does have Trick Room potential because he does have Mega Heracross right here, which actually is the best physical attacker, so way to back up your only special attacks. Ditto, which was very smart to draft. I was considering that before I actually got the rest of my plan figured out, because Ditto for some of these overs is just going to be very helpful. So, Stakataka, new Pokemon, just get a nice Stealth Rock, so this is like any hit. Par like 4 times effective fighting and ground, of course, but it does get the Stealth Rocks and Trick Room with Gyro Ball and Rock Slide, Stone Edge, all that good stuff. It can easily burn around Trick Room offense. Of course, only 2 Pokemon pretty much abuses Trick Room, and Heracross and Mudsdale. It's not too much. So, majority of the time I feel like he's not going to run Trick Room, but it's a possibility for a team that's very fast. Like, he could easily bring that for Silver. There you go, Silver. Just helping you out for whenever you face him. Next up is my boy Fanti. Phantom definitely picked up a pretty reliable team. He wasn't happy with it though, because he got his points wrong and it messed up the rest of his draft. I cry every time. He was originally planning Speed Boost Blaziken, but he decided to get Latios Mega because of his points. Landorus Therian, always reliable Mon, has an amazing Ice Check in Suicune, as well as an offensive Ice Check in Blaziken. Celebi for Stealth Rocks to go with Lando, and Reggie for their rocks. So he's very strong rockers. And then he has Toxic Spikes and Drapion, which is pretty good. Hazard removal, he does get Defog in these 2 right here, and Latios and Lando. Electros is just an amazing electric type, always decent to draft, and he does have Veil, which is actually pretty absurd, because you get Latios Mega behind it. Aurora Veil. I said Hail instead of Aurora Veil, I'm stupid. And he has pass with the Roarvale. Oh, he's trying to pull some shenanigans. I'm watching for you, Phantom. And the draft, in my opinion, seems like to lift up right here, but Ursaring behind a Roarvale could definitely be annoying because Ursaring hits like a truck with guts and facade, so Palisand's pretty cool. It did get Stealth Rex this gen, so a lot of hazard potential, which is pretty cool. A few defoggers, Aurora Veil, which is always nice for a team, stuff like that. A little too fat for my take, but it's possible. And here we are with the last two. Ditmold Darkrai and the Coach Gentle. Decided to pick up Ash Greninja, a very strong Pokemon, but it does have to pick up that 1 kill before getting the boost in all its stats and whatnot, as well as the Min 3 Water Shuriken. Pretty sure that's a thing, I don't remember. It did get Jirachi with it, very annoying. The Rotom Wash that I wanted, you evil person. Crook went so late game, but I had Garchomp, so I felt like there was no need in me grabbing it. Como, I am so looking forward to see if he can use Como well, because Como got such nice buffs this gen. Tapu Bulu. Once again, I'm not too big on Tapu Bulu, but it's a pretty reliable grass type. I just don't like how it heals up other Pokemon, and I love my ground types, so the fact I get a weakened Earthquake is just stupid. So, Gengar, he drafted the one Pokemon that actually obliterates my team. So that's one reason I had to immediately draft Skuntek. Yeah, not looking forward to facing that. Bravery was a Pokemon I was considering before I went through with Mega Alakazam. Does have Magmortar and Carnivine, which I have never seen drafted, which is interesting. He does have Stealth Rock users and Jirachi, Como, and Crocodile. Does have Defog and Rotom Wash and Braviary. That's it. Doesn't have any Rapid Spin. Okay, that's still decent defoggers, so it's not bad. Blows Pokemon back, like special offensively with Greninja and Gengar, which is very cool. Might be a problem with like Spadef, dark types, if that's a thing, I don't know. Physically wise, these three can definitely do work. Unfortunately, his Crocodile is weakened by Tapu Bulu. If he wanted to, he could pick up Nidoking and when undrafted, we were telling him to because he was stupid for picking up this. And last up is Coach Alon and SV Darmanitan 98. Okay, don't know what that team name exactly means. Hoopa Unbound. I know this does a lot of damage, but it's kind of lacking. Just its speed is kind of underwhelming. So, oh my god, this dude's team is slow. He doesn't break base 100. His fastest is base 95 in Zygarde and Darmanitan. That's actually weird. Okay. No offense to you, probably the worst draft. I don't know if you have worse or don't remember if you drafted other Pokemon down here. Let me pull that up in Discord just so I don't have anything else on here. Did Alon draft anything else? Oh yeah, he got a Mismagius and Rotom. Okay, so his fastest in Mismagius 105, so that's not bad. They just didn't update this. Alright, so Fire, Water, Grass Core is Mantine, Darmanitan, Rotom. That's not bad. A lot of defog potential on Mega Scizor, Florges, Mantine, and Rotom. Underwhelming though, in my opinion. I mean, he does have things that can like break through a few things. He doesn't have a lot of setup in my opinion. Zygarde has it and ST Scizor, but I don't know. Not the strongest exactly, but it was good to know this wasn't all of his team. Mismatch and Rotom definitely fits this team pretty well. So that is the SDL for this season. I hope you look forward to me uploading it. I am looking forward to using this team 1,000,000%. I don't know how this was, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. I cannot actually, you know what? I'll just pull it. I cannot wait to start building with this team and everything because it will just absolutely be absurd. I don't know why they left me draft this, but I am going to abuse it and they are going to regret it. So that will be it from me for this very long draft analysis of both mine and other teams. Make sure to check out my other videos in APA Showdown. And look forward to week 1 for SDL Season 6. My voice is tired. Sub, like, share, deuces.